A flagpole casts a shadow of 10 feet, and you cast a shadow of 5 feet. If you are 6 feet tall, what is the flagpole's height? For this problem, let's start out by drawing a diagram of what's going on. So in step 1, let's draw a picture. Well, we know that we need to have us in this picture. So here's a picture of us. Then we also need a flagpole. So we have a flagpole. Now the sun is casting a shadow on both the flagpole and us. So of course, we need to have a sun in this picture. Great! Now that we have our picture, let's start looking at some of the measurements. We know that we are 6 feet tall. So, we measure 6 feet tall. And when the sun casts a shadow on us, our shadow is 5 feet. So we measure 5 feet. Now when the sun casts a shadow on the flagpole, that shadow is 10 feet. And we're trying to find the height of this flagpole. So we're trying to find this height right here. Now, when the sun casts a shadow on us, it creates this shadow. So, let's draw a line from our head to the end of the shadow. It makes a triangle. And we can do the same thing with the flagpole, drawing a line from the top of the flagpole to the end of the shadow, making another triangle. Now let's think about this. The angle that we are to the ground is the same as the angle the flagpole is from the ground. And the angle that the sun casts the shadow on us and the flagpole is the same. So, these triangles have two measurements that are the same. And if two of the angles measure the same, that means that the third angle must also be the same between the two triangles. That means we're looking at similar triangles, or we're looking at similar figures. Now, similar figures. We know that similar figures are proportional to one another. So, in step number 2, let's try to create a proportion from what we've been given. This may help us solve for this missing height. Now let's see. We need to have something of ours over something of the flagpole. Well, we know that we are 6 feet tall, and we're trying to find out what the height of the flagpole is. So let's let that be x. So we have our height of 6 feet over the flagpole's height of x feet. Now to create a proportion, we need to set this equal to another ratio. Now this needs to be another something of ours over something of the flagpole's. Well, our shadow is 5 feet, and the flagpole shadow is 10 feet. So now we've created a proportion. We have our height over the flagpole's height, and that's equal to our shadow over the flagpole shadow. Since we now have this proportion, all we need to do to get this missing length is to solve our proportion. So let's take this proportion and solve it for x. To do that, we want to cross multiply. So we take 6 feet times 10 feet, and we get 60. Here we take x times 5 and get 5x. Now to solve for x, we divide both sides by 5. Here, 60 divided by 5 is 12. And over here, these 5's cancel out, and we get x. So we get that x is equal to 12. This is the height of the flagpole. And since we're measuring everything in feet, we need to remember to put our units of feet. That means that the flagpole's height is 12 feet. Now, although we were not able to measure the pole's height directly, we still got it indirectly with proportions. This technique is called indirect measurement. It's used when direct measurement is not possible. So for this problem, by using indirect measurement, we found that the flagpole's height is 12 feet.